Hey everyone, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I have a new project for you with my newest set from Gina K Designs, Women of Faith. And today I'm going to be showing you how you can add details, dimension, and color to the hair and the face and the silhouette image in my Women of Faith set. Because I already showed you this card on my blog, I wanted to do a new layout for you today. So I'm going to be showing you how you can put this stamp into another favorite set of mine, this postage frame image that I have in my Stately Flowers 11 set. The products that you're going to need for today's card, we're going to be using the MISTI for doing our stamping, and you might want a smaller block for the word and tiny images. The cardstock that we're going to be using today, I've got the Gina K Heavy Base Weight White. I've got some of the Peach Bellini. This is 4 by 4 1/4 inches. We're using a piece that's 3 by 4 inches for the postage, and then one that is just 1/4 inch larger on each side, and then another piece for that hair layer. I'll post all these dimensions below. The ink pads that we're using today, I've got the Gina K Dark Chocolate, the Peach Bellini, the Jet Black Amalgam, and then for the skin we're going to be using the Tim Holtz Distress Ink in Tattered Rose. You might find better skin tones in your collection, but in my ink pads this is the one that worked the best. I'll show you another version that I think works pretty well at the end of this video, so make sure you watch the whole thing because I have more samples to show you. We're also going to be using just some of the Connect glue and some foam squares. I've got some scissors, and then I've got some Post-it notes for doing the masking. And then finally, I've got a few pencils here. So this is the Prismacolor Dark Brown and Peach. These are both from the collection of 72 pencils. So let's begin by stamping out that postage frame, and then we'll add the silhouette to it. So I'm going to put this in the top corner because I'm going to be masking on these two sides, so that leaves me room for my Post-it note. So I'm going to take this postage frame. You can also do this on a 3 by 4 block if you like. It fits perfectly on there. And just put this right into the corner. Press it down. And then I'm going to use the Gina K Jet Black Amalgam ink. Make sure you get the entire outline. Mine is missing one little corner. I left my stamps out and my cat chewed on it. That's happened to me with a couple of stamps. Fortunately, this is one that I can correct with a pen. So I've got one handy right here, and I'm just going to fill in just this little detail, but yours should not be missing that. Okay, so we're done with that, and now we're going to mask that profile. So I'm going to get my stamp, and you'll see it's just a little bit larger than the frame, so it's going to cut off a teeny bit of the hands and the hair on one side. You can choose to have it up a little bit more if you want more space for your greeting, and then you would just simply mask on this side, but I like this nice clean corner here, so I'm going to do my masking on this side. I'm just going to bring it in about 1/8 of an inch, as if it was a little postage stamp with that little white reveal. You just want to make sure that it's going parallel to those lines so that you get a nice straight edge. Okay, I'm going to lay this right on here in the middle. Close the door. And just press my magnet in there, but we've got it right in the corner, so it's going to match up. So the distressed inks are a little bit different than our other ink pads. They're really made more for sponging than for stamping, so the ink doesn't dry right away, so it's going to look a little blotchy usually when you first stamp it. And that's okay, because we're going to do it a second time if we miss any areas. And also this ink is going to mellow as it dries and lighten up. So we'll try it one time, but on most of my cards with this ink, I've had to do it 2 times. You want to make sure that you press really well up next to those Post-it notes, just because that little lip of that paper, even though it's so thin, is going to create a little bit of a bump. So let's pull it away. Okay, I'm going to do it just one more time to fill in on the hand there. And that'll be good. Make sure it's there in the corner. Press one more time. And pull it up. Okay. So now that looks a little bit dark, but again, it's going to mellow as it dries. So we're going to go ahead and do our hair. So I'm just going to clean this off so it's not leaving a pinkish tone under my brown. And I'm going to put my other matte in here. Ink this up with the dark chocolate. You don't have to worry about getting the whole hand inked because we're not using that part. We're just going to be cutting out the hair portion. Okay. Press it down. Okay, so you see how much more solid that is when you're using just one of the dye inks. So pull this away. We're done with that stamp now. So what I want to do here is I'm just going to cut around this. You want to make sure that you're going on the edge or larger. You don't want to go inside that colored image because then when you line it up and put it over the top, the pink is going to show through. So you just want to go a little bit outside where you want the brown to stop. And then you have a choice really how far you want to trim into these areas. More or less hair falling down. And I'm going to show you some other options in future videos for how you can trim up this hair to customize it even more. Whether you're trying to make it look like your recipient or you for your project. I made about 7 of these cards yesterday and it was just so fun and interesting seeing how just changing up the color and adding those little facial details was making it look so much like my different friends, just with the one silhouette. This set is almost sold out, so we will be ordering it again. It's actually already on order, so it'll be in again soon. Don't want you to get frustrated if you don't see it in the store. And then I'm just going to cut in these last 3 little sections right here. So one, you could leave that area if you wanted, but I just want a closer trim than that. All right. So then we're going to go ahead and you can either pop this up like you see here, or you can just glue it on. I'm going to do the glue because I really like how that Connect glue allows you to go just right to the edge of all those little wispy hairs. It has this really fine tip. I also really like this glue because you have a little wiggle room with your paper. You can kind of ease it over a little bit before it dries and completely adheres. So I'm just going to lay this right down. And actually, I'm going to trim off just the edge because remember we masked that. So let me take off just a little bit there and put that right down on top. It's going to line up right over the hair. Okay. And I really like how it looks just like that. If you don't feel comfortable or you don't have pencils and you don't want to add that in, here's another version that I have, and this kind of just makes it a little bit more general who that person could be. So that's a really nice look as well. And these are done in the same colors. This greeting is from our current incentive set, Wealth of Wishes. So we're going to take those 2 pencils, and again, if you're using different colors, you just want something that's a couple shades darker than the flesh tone you're using, and then one that's going to work to match the hair for your eyebrows and eyelashes. So to color this, I'm making it just a tiny little teardrop for each one of the lips. And it kind of looks like a little heart. And you can see 2 different ones that I did here. This one, if you fill in the mouth, it'll look like the lips are pressed together. If you leave it open, it looks more like a smile. Make it turn up a little bit. Then we're going to do just what's like a tiny little C there for the nostril. And then just a tiny little kind of flattened oval for the nostril there. And then this is just barely, but I'm just going to do just a light little line there for the bridge of that nose. Then I want to have the little apple of her cheek. So I'm making just a really soft, kind of like a closing parenthesis there. And you can fill that in just a little bit. See, this is all very, very subtle, but you're going to see it on your card. You can put just a little bit of shading under the chin if you like, and along that jawline. And then we're going to do her eyebrow and her eyelash line. So again, just a little curved line like that. And then just really, really delicate lashes. Not too long. These are just really small touches. And then I'm just filling in kind of like a really soft little triangle here that's curved on the outside for that eyelid. And then I'm going to make her eyebrow, and this is going to start just below the bangs and arc out towards the edge of her eye. And that's it. And to find the edge of where that should be, you can even do this in the mirror with your eye pencil, but it's going to go along from the edge of the eyebrow to the lash line to your lip. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my dark chocolate matte, and then I want to add, since I have this postage set out and I'm working with that postage frame, I want to use a couple more of those postal elements. And I think they work really well with the different greetings in the set. Okay, you want to make sure that you do all of your stamping before you put the foam squares on so you have a nice flat surface. So I'm going to take my Stately Flowers 11 set, and I want to put Forever on here. So this was the original card, and I've got this in landscape style, but I want to do it in portrait style. So I'm going to take my smaller block, and I'm just going to stamp. I've got Forever here, but I'm going to put the Forever right here, just as if it were a stamp, those Forever postage stamps. And then I'm going to do the postmark with the Happy Mail. And this has room in the middle where you can add the hearts or the tiny little butterfly from the New Women of Faith stamp. So that's going right over her hand there. So we're done with that set. And then I'm going to use the Peach Bellini to add just a little heart. I think this color works really nice with that peach pencil. There's the heart. It's almost like she's blowing a little kiss or something. Now, to save time, I stamped out some of this flower from the set on my Peach Bellini layer. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere both of these to the card. And I want to show you just one more thing that you can do with the set and those butterflies. And just to show you, I also stamped in that flower and stamped it off. So I'm going to leave just a little reveal there at the bottom. And I'm going to have this attached at an angle, enough room for my blessed. So let's stamp that really quickly in the jet black. Or you could use the brown if you want. But I'm going to use the black. Okay, so right there, Forever Blessed. I love that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take the medium-sized butterfly. I've got a large butterfly and then two little side view ones. So I'm going to use the medium-sized one so it looks like it's facing right and about to fly off my card. So I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to show you how you can make a little trail with the two little hearts in this set. Okay, so there's a medium and a larger heart. Actually, there's 3 single hearts and then this little line of 2. The 2 you can use to create little trails or little fun, curvy, whimsical lines on your cards. So you're just going to line this up and then just stamp again and again, turning it as you go to create that sweet little trail. So I love how all the little hearts are just playing off of each other. And then we're going to put this on some foam, and then the card is done. Actually, one thing I do want to do, since I have the butterfly out, I'm going to put this on the back of my card. Okay. And then you can sign your name. Okay, so cut some foam squares for this. So I'm just going to use 4. When I have a mat that's not matted with a second layer, I usually put one in the middle there just to give it a little bit more structure. But 4 is good when you've got it doubled up. Just like that. So here's the 2 cards. I just love that. And if you need something to refer to, you can look at the pictures on my blog, or if you see I have this line art image right here, this is the same exact version. It's just that that one is filled in. So you can actually peel this off and you have this image and you can refer to those little lines as you're trying to add your own little details. So it's very simple to do. Just play with it. All right, so these are the samples I have here. Again, these are the first 2 that I shared and the one without the features. But I want to show you just a couple more cards that I made. I found that the honey mustard is a nice alternative if you want to have someone with a darker skin tone. So this is honey mustard with the black onyx. And then this is with that same tattered rose skin. If you cut it very carefully, you can use both pieces. So this is one image stamped here in the honey mustard. So that's a Gina K color. And then the other one that I found that I really liked for my blonde friend who lives in Alabama, this is with the sweet corn. And then I used the coordinating cardstock for that. And then obviously the stately flowers 11. So I hope you enjoyed this idea for adding more detail and really bringing that silhouette to life. More videos to come with this set. Please let me know which layout you prefer. Visit us at Hands, Head, and Heart for more ideas and inspiration using all of my stamp sets and at Stamp TV and Gina K Designs. Thank you so much for watching today. God bless.